Hi, I am really dumb, and sometimes it can be a really good thing to be dumb because you're able to understand really obvious things that intelligent people would rather deceive themselves about. Intelligent people who are so intelligent that they're actually able to deceive themselves as well. Take a look at this video clip of the then crypto anti-Semite Simon Harris Jew baiting Brian Thomas about circumcision and FGM, and check out the reaction of Shazia Hobbs to it.
And I find the whole idea that you can mutilate an 8-year-old child, that you can offend an 8-year-old child's bodily integrity. No, there's no, and you remember when we started this discussion, I was a bit concerned. I thought it might be a bit edgy, but I didn't think it would end up being this edgy. And yeah, it's a place I can't go. It's wrong. You can't do it. And it's not anti-Jewish. It's on the basis of principles. Had insane medical ideas, and I would suggest that had it not been prevalent amongst Jews, then it wouldn't have been considered acceptable amongst Gentiles and wouldn't have been considered acceptable medicine. It isn't acceptable medicine because there are no reasonable medical reasons for having it done. There are no benefits. It's all negative. Perhaps it hasn't ruined your life, but that's because, as I said before, it's like being born colorblind. You don't know what the real world is.
I can't really say except to say I think it's part of Judaism. I think Jews have done relatively well, and I don't know that we can throw it away and not destroy Judaism. And I'm not prepared to take the chance. And personally, it hasn't caused me. I just don't go through my life worrying about it, and I don't think my kids will either. So
that was the last video that Brian Thomas did with Simon Harris. They'd done a series of 5 live streams on culture and identity that were really fascinating to listen to. But from about the second or the third one, it became increasingly evident that Simon Harris was going very dark. From the time he mentioned about someone asking him if he was a Zionist, and he said, "Like heck I am." Well, that seemed a bit strange, as he was having such friendly chats with an Israeli guy. And it just became more and more obvious from things he was saying since that he was heading in a Nazi direction, and it amazed me that Brian Thomas was continuing with those conversations. But after this one, there was no doubt that of the anti-Semitic turn that Simon Harris had taken, and his content thereafter made it blindingly obvious, even to a highly intelligent person, that he was a raving anti-Semite. He's done a whole series of videos promoting the anti-Semitic forgery, the protocols of the elders of Zion to incite hatred against Jews. I don't know if he's actually come out with any Holocaust denying videos. It wouldn't surprise me if he slipped in a bit of that in the various videos that he's done. But you may have noticed what, to my mind, in that little clip I showed, or that sequence of clips. I saw the whole video, and I could see that Shazia Hobbs was getting off on the anti-Semitic discomfort that Simon Harris was causing Brian Thomas. And I had no doubt in my mind that she was an anti-Semite to the hilt. But that was just the understanding of a dumb person. But a couple of days ago, she had published in tr.news, Tommy Robinson News, an article that started off with classic stealth anti-Semitism and then veered into wanton anti-Semitism, and even the most intelligent of people should be able to see that she is a hardcore anti-Semite. The article got pulled the following day, but not before I managed to make a copy of it, and I've uploaded that, and I'll put the link to that below. I'm going to pick out some of the most outstanding examples of her stealth anti-Semitism and her wanton anti-Semitism. So let's go through those now. Where is the protection for Christians from both Muslims and Jews? For goodness sake. Christians do not need protection from Jews. The one country in the Middle East that Christians are safe in is Israel. What a twisted bit of logic from a blatant Jew hater. Draw a cartoon of Muhammad and then watch as the Muslims in Islamic countries, Pakistan especially, riot and burn effigies of whoever organised it, while calling for the death of all those who insult Islam and Muhammad. This behaviour is rightly criticised by those on the right. But draw a cartoon of Trump walking Benjamin Netanyahu on a leash and watch how they call it deeply anti-Semitic and are disgusted by it. My goodness me. So, violating Islam by portraying Muhammad, whether mockingly or otherwise, and Muslims going off on one, rioting and calling for the murder of people and actually killing people over it. That equates with an anti-Semitic cartoon, not critiquing a religion, but inciting hatred against the Jewish race, with the anti-Semitic trope that the Jews secretly run the world and people are being blindly led by the Jews, the master manipulators, and legitimately and peacefully protesting about such blatant anti-Semitism. She compares that with the murderous violence of Islam when it's critiqued and mocked. What an evil, evil woman. We live in a world where you can be jailed for denouncing Islam and for saying the Holocaust was fake, or that you doubt the numbers of deaths. Well, again, being jailed for denouncing Islam, I mean, that is an abject violation of every tenet of democracy. You're denying people free speech to criticize a religion. And she's comparing that with being jailed for Holocaust denial. Well, for a start, in Britain, Holocaust denial per se is not a crime like it is in some countries like Germany and Austria, I believe, as well. But if someone is going to deny the Holocaust, an absolutely irrefutable fact as verified by innumerable witnesses and trials, and we're talking about witnesses who were the perpetrators as well as the victims, there are two tomes of evidence. If you want to pretend that the Holocaust didn't happen, it's because you want another Holocaust. And this time finishing off the job that Hitler started. And for an anti-Semite like Shazia Hobbs making a point like that, it really does suggest that she's got a bit of a taste, at the least, for another Holocaust. Now, this little extract here is the piece de resistance. The same people who are outraged over Sharia patrols in the UK are silent about Shomrim, an Orthodox Jewish neighbourhood watch group that patrols the streets of northeast London, protecting the Jewish population. Oh my goodness, has she got it bad. That is a Jew hater that has just totally lost it. She's falling over herself to whip up hatred and just tying herself in knots. So she is equating Sharia patrols that impose Islam on people with a Jewish self-protection group that protects the Jewish community from anti-Semitic attack. Oh my goodness, has she got it bad. Just to make something clear, I am not a Jew lover. I think of the Jews in the same way that I think of us English people. We are arseholes, but we're arseholes who've managed to do quite a bit of good in the world, and we deserve a bit of respect for it. I admire the Jewish people for their achievements. The Jewish people are overrepresented in all the fields that require a bit of a gift of the mind, and in the arts, because they're a supremely gifted people, and they're a blessing to the nations, and Israel is a blessing to the world. Tommy Robinson claims to be a Zionist, but he's still got Shazia Hobbs working for him after she published that rancid anti-Semitic filth. Now, you don't have to be a Zionist to be against anti-Semitism. I mean, if you are an anti-Zionist, then it's almost a foregone conclusion. It's because you're an anti-Semite. But no, there are anti-Zionists who believe Israel should fall and are against Semitism. And you know who they are, because they do not support genocidal anti-Semites against Israel, like anti-Semites such as Jeremy Corbyn and Nick Griffin. But Tommy Robinson calls himself a Zionist, and he hasn't instantly sacked Shazia Hobbs for this blatant anti-Semitism. Tommy Robinson owes so much to the Anglosphere Jews he's got in his camp, yet he appears to expect Avi Yemeni, Brian Thomas and Ezra Levant to suck up that he's keeping a Jew hater in his camp. I find it pretty convincing, Tommy Robinson's claims to be a Zionist, but when you look at the company he keeps, you really do have to wonder if it's some kind of act. He's campaigning for election now. If it's not far right, how easy would it be for him at every stump speech to say, I would rather not get elected than to win with the votes of the far right and anti-Semites. Go and vote for Jeremy Corbyn's new Nazi Labour, if that's where you're coming from, because I don't want anything to do with you. So easy. And he doesn't do it. White working class lives matter. And what we've seen in Britain with the political class allowing their underage daughters to be raped on an industrial scale by Muslim grooming gangs is that our political class could not give a toss about them. And if Tommy Robinson is not far right, what a great thing it would be if he does get elected. But he is far right. He's got Shazia Hobbs working for him. Someone so anti-Semitic, she could work for Jeremy Corbyn.
Also as well, you know, we made FGM illegal in 1985, and when we had the mass immigration in the 60s from Pakistan and India and Bangladesh, why did we not make male circumcision illegal? Is that because already we had a Jewish community that were cutting their babies? So